Support for City Series boys football is provided by the Akron Public Schools Career Education Department at 330-761-3131 or apscareers.com.
Welcome here to Infocision Stadium, Suma Field. Dave Schick and soon-to-be Joe Bukansky beside me, as we will be bringing you another City Series matchup here as the Orangemen kick this one away right down the center to the Garfield Rams. They'll bring it up the center, returning it from the 22. They'll get to the 40-yard line, and we'll start their first possession. Looking at these two teams, Ellet currently positioned to contend for the City Series championship, as they've played well, but they did lose to Buchtel, so right now they're second fiddle, and the one looking at third fiddle is their opponent here tonight, the Garfield Rams. So a battle of second best here in the City Series. As we get things underway, their first matchup here, as we have under center Trevon Shepard in the I formation split out. You'll see this all day, folks, as they are a run-heavy team with very large wide receivers that do good blocking. They run right down the sidelines, and that running the ball is Darren Powers, the 6-foot senior, listed at 180 pounds, but maybe that's before he ate any water, ate anything, or drank anything for the day, because he's much bigger than that and much faster, as you'll see it there. Trevon Shepard, the junior, listed at 5'8", 155. Is now in the backfield, looking to get things started as they set up now 2nd and 5. Movement on the line and flags down on the turf. Will move back on the first penalty for the Rams. So a 5-yard penalty to start on their second down. So now 2nd and 10 now, as we're just about to get to the 60-second mark here in the first quarter. Seen Garfield a couple times here on our broadcast, a team that can play well defensively, has big play possibilities with the wideout position, as I mentioned, with Nolan Palmer and Devontae Lash. They'll look to pass him now, looking left side, pump fakes him. Oh, there's the flag. Caught up on the bottom of your screen, right about the 41-yard line, and on the throw was intended for Devontae Lash, but he was not able to get there. Why? Because there was a player in the way to allow him to get there. I believe it was Jarrett Jones. Looks like number 28. Turn around there. Small fry. Here we go. I think it is Clavon Birch, I believe, at 23 at the bottom of your screen, on the pass interference. So that'll be an automatic first down. And we'll get them now into Ellet Orangemen territory. Went up on the elevator with the coaches for Ellet. They feel confident about tonight's game. And I also learned if you have a headset on, you can get in the press box pretty easily. So they go left side. Powers is going to be handing the ball off to. He's going to get a nice gain of 8 yards on his second carry. And we welcome Joe Bukansky.
Hey, all right. Darren Powers, more of what we've seen from him in the previous 3 times we've had him, Dave. One-cut runner, likes to get north-south. Punishing style, as you mentioned, 180 pounds, but plays a lot tougher than that and a lot bigger than what he's listed as.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Halloween Candy, which is going to keep us going for the next 2 hours that you're here with us. And they hand the ball off. It will be for a first down, a gain of 6 yards on the carry at the bottom of the scrum.
And this we did not see in our last broadcast with Garfield. The line of scrimmage, I mentioned to somebody that said, what happened? How did East played a good ball game? How did East beat Garfield? But I said it was like Garfield just didn't hit anybody last week. They weren't really physical, which is not synonymous with them. They're coming out a lot more aggressive here tonight in the rain.
So their their second first down. First by penalty, that one by play call. Shepard pump fakes again. He looks to the right side, this time right in the window, and touchdown is up. Is he able to get it in there and get the touchdown? On the catch is, do you have it, Joe?
Yep, number 10.
Number 10, as I mentioned, Nolan Palmer. The two wide receivers on both sides, Lash caught up for a pass interference that allows them to get a first down. On the other end, Palmer reels it in, and here at 9:44 here in the first quarter, they get their first score, a nice one from 26 yards out.
3 points of execution there for Garfield. Protection, first of all, patience by Shepard, and then finishing the play by Nolan Palmer, 31-yard touchdown strike.
So they'll set up for the extra point. I was going to say, I thought I was a little short at 26 when I said it.
And our All-City Series kicker, Bunsen Bonio, going to line up to boot another one through. High snap.
Lots of pressure coming, and the ball gets...
Yeah, that was me.
It gets up.
I jinxed it.
It gets up, but does not go through. He did get it off the turf, which was impressive there in itself, but I think he had to kick it a little too early. So without hitting the extra point, it is 6-0 here in the first quarter, but able to take the first drive from the kick and get a touchdown, an important one, and an advantage in the in the kicking game certainly goes to the Rams, where we've seen Bonio hit over 35 yards kicking field goals, and we saw how it's been helpful at times, but that one just bad special teams allowing the Orangemen to get through and be able to get a hand on it. Maybe not necessarily get a hand on it, but make him rush it more than he should have. And you'll see from our broadcast, not as easily, but the rain is coming down.
Yeah.
If you're here, there's a reason why you see all the people under the canopy over there, because it is cold and rainy, and in about 2 hours, Peter, this is going to be a winter wonderland.
You think it's going to turn over tonight?
I think it will. Why? Because we have one more broadcast, Joe.
Ooh.
What's a good broadcast without some snow?
That could.
It should be fresh powder for.
That would be nice.
Which is great
on
for
the muddy
skiing,
grass,
but not great
No.
for football necessarily.
No.
It's fun to watch though.
Yeah.
When you don't have to be sitting in the stands and cold, so it's great for everybody at home. You guys are welcome.
So what Garfield couldn't do last week, Dave, they're able to do tonight, and that's get a lead and get out and play from ahead.
On the return, he picks it up at the 20, and he'll come down at the 38-yard line. Their first drive for the Rams was going to be 58 yards for a touchdown. And what the Orangemen are looking to do is to get their first drive going, and now in about the same field position, looking to get the same outcome as well with a touchdown.
Yep. Clavon Birch on the return there gives the Orangemen pretty good field position as Ellet will go from the I formation. Garrett Haverstick under center.
Hands the ball off, goes right up the center, or left of the center, and we'll get a gain of 6, set up 2nd and 4. We're at 9:25 here in the first quarter. Two big plays that the Rams were able to convert on. One didn't get the ball to him, but got a pass interference. The other one connects on what was a great throw by Shepard in a small window for the touchdown. But now we'll see, moving to the other side, Haverstick under center. The only underclassman really in the starting position here for the Orangemen. Slashes through and will get a first down, a gain of 7.
Clavon Birch that time. You'll hear a lot of those two guys' name, Ivory and Clavon Birch. Both carried it more than 15 times apiece in our last broadcast.
Yeah, certainly when you look at this game, you have some big names here within the conference itself running the ball. You have Darian Powers, outstanding. Clavon Birch looking to hand the ball off again. And this time we'll get a gain of 1. 2nd down and 9.
Number 52, Devon Clinton finished it up. Darian Powers first to contact there. He did a nice job of filling and knocking out Ivory out of that hole. Only a 1-yard gain. Yep, as predicted correctly tonight, they said the rain would come afternoon to mid-evening, and it's coming down.
Ooh, I think we have a fumble on the turf.
Never got the handoff. That's going to Garfield.
And there's this official signal, and Garfield will take over 3 yards ahead of where they did last drive on a big defensive play as they get the fumble. So a fumble with 8:07 here in the first quarter.
Yeah, recovery there, Dave, by it looked like number 52, Devon Clinton. Mentioned his name 2 times in a row. Big one for the Rams.
You talked about getting a lead early. Certainly getting a 2-score lead would certainly be,
Huge.
if 1 is good, 2 is better. in almost everything except for bad news, I guess.
Ellet with very slim playoff aspirations. They would have to win and need a ton of help as they're in just a monstrous, that Division II, I believe it's Region 4 region. They're not mathematically eliminated, but all but Garfield, this is their playoff game.
Well, you could have said that they were mathematically eliminated from getting a gain on that, as there was pretty much every person from Ellet in the backfield, but still Shepard gets back up to the line of scrimmage before he goes down.
I mean, that was an impressive run to get to the line of scrimmage. He should have been sacked for a 4-yard loss, but he manages to duck the shoulder and look like a running back there.
Well, lots of pursuit on the outside, but kind of scooted up into the pocket right behind the center, and then took the beating and went down there, but makes it 2nd and 10.
They were looking to throw there again, Dave. Maybe really looking to go deep one more time.
Lash up top, Palmer down at the bottom of your screen. Offset I formation for Shepard under center. Bring a lot in the box, and
yeah,
they do.
Eight
Trying to get over, flag down for what's probably going to be holding. He's going to get a gain of 5, 4, coming back. What are we doing? 4 on the gain.
All for naught.
And let's do it again. We'll move back 10, make it 2nd down and 20.
Player down for Ellet, number 25, Cody Hoskinson, the senior. Give us a stoppage of play.
While we have it, we'll say City Series football right here on APS 15, supported by Akron Public School Career Education Department, where students can choose from 30 different career education programs. For more information, apscareers.com. Also, City Series football right here on APS 15, supported by Akron Public Schools, offering a free lunch for every elementary student and a free breakfast for every student. Akron Public Schools at akronschools.com.
Thank you. I had a sneeze coming on, so.
That's all right.
It's still it hasn't come yet. It's coming.
Peter and I had a competition to see if you can eat a Butterfinger before you go on the air, and I think I pulled it off pretty successfully.
You guys tied?
It was pretty much a competition between myself and the microphone.
And your belly won.
It does.
Is that the phone for the president there? What is that over there? What is that thing over there?
This is the bat phone?
Yeah. We can't see it, so it's
Peter,
not as funny for everybody else, but trust me, it's funny.
It's one of the ones that you actually plug in, which usually when you do radio, you want an actual hard line so that you would play it through here, and you need to know the number to call it in. But Peter and I talked about, if you look at these chairs here in the auxiliary radio, and then look at those chairs over there, Joe. Those are what we used to have.
I was missing something.
You're missing what is called a cushion on your seat. There are and to describe those of you at home, there are wonderful cushy chairs.
Not complaining, because if we do, we might be doing. You see that post down there in the goal line?
Yes.
That's where we might be doing the game from next year. So I'm good.
It is warm and not raining. I will give it that.
Yeah.
And we have this beautiful
what everyone's complaining about.
Sliding door.
Let's get some air in here. You got your flannel on. You're good to go.
Every time I wear a flannel, I kind of feel, because when I was a kid, I watched a lot of Home Improvement. So I feel
like the tool man?
Yeah. Well, more like Al, because he always wore the flannel. Offset I formation as we finally get things settled in. 2nd down and 20. And they toss it to Powers, option. Who's going to pass it right over the center. Has a man there coming across, and he almost had it.
That ball seemed to stay in the air forever. And Birch makes a great play on the ball, but cannot secure it, luckily for the Rams.
And as he was coming onto it, you thought for a second maybe he was going to make the hit, which would have been a hard hit, certainly coming across the center and not seeing it. But
maybe that's why he dropped it. Maybe he couldn't decide, do I lay him out or do I go for the ball?
I think he got there faster than he expected. He thought he could get the ball.
And he
Third
had
down.
he had a lot of open field ahead of him, too, if he could have stayed on his feet.
3rd down and 20. Shepard in the back, 3 wide now for the Rams. Under 7 minutes here in the first. Looking to pass off the flat, and flags are down. And I bet you we're going to possibly decline this one, if that's what the call is going to be.
Yeah, I think illegal hands to the face, maybe. Yeah, sorry, I don't want you to get cold. Hey, these windows slide. They slide closed, too, when you're cold.
Yeah.
Oh, chop block.
Declined anyway.
Yeah.
Because then it'd be 4th down on the play. So 4th down and 20. Last time in this position, gained 48 yards and got a touchdown. This time, lost 10, and we're going to punt it away.
Penalty killed that drive.
So they're going to punt here, it appears. Yeah. Before I get too excited. Back to catch this one for the Orangemen is Joe. Snap is caught. Kick is away.
Oh, that's
nice
number
one.
14, Mitchell Carver.
Spiral catches it at the 30-yard line, and he'll keep it there. Had to backpedal to get it. Does Mitchell Carver, the senior. And now the Orangemen will try for their 2nd time around. First time, fumbled it about 2 minutes ago off a run play. Offense wasn't doing bad, except for you need to continue moving with the ball. Just for an FYI for you guys out there.
Yeah, they never got the handoff. I couldn't tell if it was the exchange or the handling, but the handling was mishandled. But they get it back.
Pro formation under center. Haverstick tosses it out to his left. He's going to have some space, and will gain 5 on the carry. Ivory on the carry.
Tried to use his blocker out there, did Ivory, but Davon Mason did a great job of coming up and taking on the blocker and then going low on Ivory and taking out his legs. Still a good 5-yard gain for the Orangemen on 1st down.
2nd and 5 here as we approach 6 minutes here in the first. They find themselves down a score. Get some redemption and get some yards offensively. Get that defense off the field, and this is a good way to do it, as he'll get a 1st down, a carry of 7.
It's going to be a face mask added on to that, I believe. Birch, 7 more.
Yep. Face mask is the call.
Five-yard variety, I'm guessing. Nope, 15-yarder.
Personal foul, 15-yard.
Oof.
Face mask.
So now, one penalty on offense and another big one on defense have really hurt the Rams. And that's the difference between a 3-6 Garfield Ram team and maybe a 5-4 or 5-3, 5-4, or maybe even 6-3 team. These penalties and things like that have really come back to haunt them.
Wow, great defensive call by Coach Sachs.
Mm-hmm.
So they sniff it out, and no gain on the carry. No, they give him 1. So 2nd and 9. So a gain of 1.
And we saw that from Buchtel when they played Ellet. The key to Buchtel's defensive success was to stop these good Ellet backs before they have a chance to get going. They did that in the second half against them, and that's what propelled them into the position that they're in now, a win in our next telegas in the championship.
I formation, 1 wide receiver at the bottom of your screen.
Reverse.
End around on the reverse, hands the ball off. We'll get 5, 7, and an 8, and it'll go down. On the carry, Maurice Mackey.
You called it, yes. And if Maurice just would have waited a little bit longer for his blockers, he had 3 blockers. How many times do you see that out of wide receivers, though? They get out there in space, and then they just don't wait quite long enough for their blockers. But he'll take the 7-yard gain. 3rd and short. This is where Ellet is most comfortable.
Cameron break at the bottom. He's not going to get it. They're going to go up top. Slides for 3 yards, and we'll get the first down, not intentionally, but because it's wet outside.
Yep, the wet turf got him, but he falls forward, which is a good thing to do.
4:36 here in the first quarter. And Ellet getting close to that red zone at the 32-yard line. Pitch out to the right side. They have lots of space over there. He's got to wait for his blocker. Gets around and does get around him. And he'll get about 15 yards on the carry. Yep. Ivory gets to the 16-yard line.
Great job of what they call circling the field by Ivory, and that's basically setting your man up inside to bounce it out outside, basically in a semicircle type of rotation where you make a move, but it's not an east-west move. It's a juke move, and then you get yourself back north-south, and you use the width of the field, which he did a great job of doing that there. Set his man up nicely.
And Brake did a good job giving him a good block on that corner. Made the corner commit to him. Hands the ball off to the left side, but comes back to the right. And this is what we've seen before. Another big gain running the ball. This one will be 12 yards for a first down. We'll set up first down and goal from the 5.
And Dave, you mentioned, and we talk about these running backs, but did you see that hole? I mean, Dave, we could have gotten, how many did he get? 10 or 11? He got 10.
He got 12.
We could have got 5 there for sure. Huge hole. Well, you might have got 6.
Might be 7.
You're a little
I was
younger.
thinking 7.
You would have slid though at the end.
That's because I wouldn't want to take the hit.
Oh, you're smart.
It goes left side. This time Stutter steps up. He'll get 4 on the carry. Second down and goal from the 1. And we'll be under 3 minutes by the time they get this next play off. But offensively doing very well are the Orangemen on this drive.
Haven't even bothered to go to the air yet. Yeah, they're just getting out and they're winning it up front right now in a big way.
I am surprised, though, looking on the sideline, Coach Yost not doing the shorts. I guess the season has changed.
No shorts?
No shorts. Notoriously tends to hold on to it a little bit as they hand the ball off right side and get in the end zone. So they get their own touchdown on this drive and are able to take over and get things knotted up at 6 with 2:49 here in the first.
Yeah, it's a 2:49 mark. That's Clavon Birch from 1 yard out, just on the dive play.
And they'll set up for the PAT. They're going to look for a quick snap here. There it is. Snap is down. Again, pressure coming through the outsides, but this one able to get up and through the uprights, and they take the lead 7-6. As the kicking game, the strength of really both of these teams, they find themselves able to get a lead by getting the extra point.
Impressive drive by Ellet, and really it hasn't mattered if they've gone inside, which you would expect today with the wet conditions, but they've really done well getting outside too, and they're really sealing off these ends of Garfield. Garfield's got their ends on both sides got to do a better job of getting upfield and keeping those sweep plays from getting outside, or those off-tackle plays. Credit to the tackles and tight ends especially of the Ellet Orangemen. They're doing a real good job right now.
Able to cap off a 62-yard drive. Helped mainly by that big 15-yard penalty.
Mm-hmm.
That got them deeper into Ram territory. So now the Rams need to come out and be able to refocus, as up top they'll have Darren Powers to return. Slow to come out of the huddle are the Orangemen. There's the whistle.
I've seen delay games called on kickoff teams.
They're waiting for the whistle, but kind of slow for everybody to set up in comparison. They'll kick this one away, go straight down the center, And Mason will catch it. And comes back up to the top of the field. Cuts back inside. He'll get a return of 6 yards and take over at the 21-yard line.
Great vantage point for us, Dave, to see what happens when a kickoff team does a successful directional kick and then they stay in their lanes. There was nowhere for Mason to go. His best move would have been to run right up the sideline where he had no room. But once they got him to flatten out and they stayed in their lanes, that's just good team tackling by the Orangemen special teams.
Offset I formation for the Rams. We're now at 2:40 here in the first quarter. They find themselves down 1 off a missed extra point. Hand the ball off as a good pressure coming through the line. He'll get a gain of 1 before forward progress had stopped.
Maurice Mackey almost got the handoff. He got in there so quick.
Powers on the carry. Certainly say I'm a bit surprised seeing more passing plays from the Rams than the Orangemen so far, and 2 offensive possessions for each team.
Only 2 that have counted. 3 because of the pitch pass. You're right. But how many from Ellet? This is the easy
0.
one. And put away.
Hikes the ball, looks left, looking to throw again. This time to the right side, has a man there. Great coverage by the Rams on this one. Pass intended for Devontae Lash. And a great job by Clavon Birch to break it up.
And did he get there early? Hanky say no. They say it was good. Good play.
I don't think so, but it does make 3rd down and 9.
You don't think he got there early?
No.
You thought it was a good play?
I thought it was.
I tend to agree. I think it was aggressive, but hey, cornerbacks have to be allowed to do something nowadays, especially at the upper levels. They can't do anything.
They are allowed to wear shoulder pads. You're going to have a bit of an aggressive game here. Shepard now looking 3 wide. Cornerbacks moving back. Pressure coming into the pocket. Scampers around,
fumble.
and we got a sack.
No,
he handed the ball off or
fumble.
fell or whatever it was.
Get down there, big fella. Fumbled, and it bounced right up to number 55.
He got 2 yards on the carry, you could say.
Antonio Sanders. We're going to give Sanders 2. Let's get Sanders in the book.
Get him on the
for
book.
2 rushing yards.
It's probably considered a fumble recovery and not a rush, yeah.
Who cares? We're getting him 2 yards. We'll just ask.
Get his name on the loudspeaker. Not bad. So now it does set up 4th down and 13. What are they talking about?
Are they saying he can't advance it?
Isn't it a fumble? A fumble you can advance. Maybe they'd explain it to one side and they're explaining it to this side.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. They're wasting a lot of time walking from one side to the other. Can you give us a jog?
And they just moved it up 5 yards, which isn't going to matter. They're still going to punt.
Are they saying it's an incomplete pass?
Oh, my God, goodness, no, it was not an incomplete pass.
Well, they had the ball where they had the ball, no advantage. That's where they had rushed the ball before.
I know. Is the clock stopped?
Well, currently, because
and wait a minute. How come it's 4th down and it looks like they're going for it?
I'm not sure they're going for it, but they're going to wait and see.
Well, why are they lined up to go for it on 4th down at their own 22-yard line? I'm confused.
It's a good question.
How about our Akron East Dragons going out of conference today, Dave, to play the #1 team in the state, the Canton Central Catholic Crusaders?
Hold on, Joe. We're back at 3rd down and 9.
So that play didn't count for some reason.
I don't know why.
Had to have not counted. Had to be blown dead. What?
There's no Grant in motion coming to the top of your screen. This is weird. I don't understand it. And wow, it's like the
jailbreak.
Same play. We let guys through, and the result almost exactly the same. Actually, a little worse. Was that just a gimme play? Like, hey, we're going to do this over and give you the ball about the same spot.
Ryan Jarvis with the sack and many other guys, but that one takes them back another 10 yards.
That was bad football.
That was, you know what it looked like, Dave? That looked like the line was going to be a screen, and you know how they let guys in?
Mm.
But
well, they did let him in.
they didn't have the timing to even get the play off.
Fourth down and 20. We're going to punt it away. 34 seconds left here in the first quarter. A very weird sequence of events here. Going to kick it away and caught at the 43-yard line. Returned to the right side. Stays on the sideline, stays on his feet, and will go down at the 28-yard line. Mitchell Carver on the return.
Great field position for the Orangemen. Carver does a nice job of coming up and getting that thing in the air.
So replay of third down to get sacked 10 yards and punt.
And here's a question. How much field position in a season does a good return man save you? Because how many times do we see balls bounce and roll about, not as much as the old AstroTurf days, but roll about 10, 15 yards. Trap play.
And did well for 4-yard gain.
Now that's Clavon Birch again.
Real quick trap, and that'll do it for us here in the first quarter, as we will end the first 7-6 with the Ellet Orangemen, excuse me.
Yeah, I like the Elletmen.
Elletmen.
Cool.
That's not bad.
That's cool. Yeah.
The Elletmen.
I did the same thing with Crusaders. See, you're just that's me. My fault.
The Elletmen leading this one 7-6 here at the end of the first quarter here from Infocision Stadium, Suma Field in the beautiful University of Akron campus. Well, it's beautiful when it's not raining and it's not dark out. But we want to let you know that City Series football that you are watching from your nice warm home is brought to you on APS 15 by the support of Akron Public Schools. Online at akronschools.com. Akron Public Schools.
Smart choice.
That it is. Also, City Series football right here on APS 15, supported by Akron Public School Career Education, where adult vocational services have been providing career training to adult learners for over 55 years. The double nickel, you could say. Over 350,000 people have enrolled in these customized programs designed to meet the ever-changing needs of Akron area business, industry, and government. For more information, apscareers.com. So we'll switch sides. Peter has panned his camera from right to left, which they still stay when they broadcast on the radio, and no one has a radio dial that goes left to right anymore, unless you're driving a very classic car. But one thing that does go left to right is running into the end zone and putting 6 points on the board. Jacob Ivory ran from right to left, and outstandingly so. He was able to do it from 32 yards out and get a touchdown here at the beginning of the second quarter.
Nice job off of left side sweep, and the blocking just doing a great job of getting out. Ivory made one person miss. Great execution by the Orangemen for their second score.
So 2 scores and a lot of running. We haven't seen a single pass play from the Orangemen, and you can see why, because they're good at it. Looking to set up for an extra point. Snap is very nice. Kicked away up and through the uprights. Put your hands in the air. We got another point on the scoreboard. That makes it 14-6 here at the beginning of the second quarter. And the Rams, a bit reeling, are going to come to the sidelines and need to figure things out quick. They've given up 2 drives. One, 62 yards. This one, much shorter, only 38-yard drive, but able to get a touchdown as well. And big penalties have hurt them offensively and defensively on the last one that they had. But this sequence here will be their 4th possession, and looking to do something very similar to their first one where they're able to score a touchdown.
Orangemen, as you mentioned, have not had to throw it yet, Dave, but they've ran it a total of 14 times, and they're getting around that 100-yard range, so successfully being done. Garfield looks like they have a lot of players in the box, but a nice job of the Orangemen staying on their blocks, getting to that point of contact, and the running backs doing a nice job in these wet conditions of keeping their feet. The result, execution.
The result, touchdown. Points on the scoreboard, stickers on the helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Pizza after the game, whatever you want to call it. Ball is kicked away and will be returned from the 13-yard line. Coming in the center, cuts back left. Nice cut there. Tries to get outside again, and he'll go down. Flags are down as well. That'll be to the 32-yard line.
Beep, beep. That means
you're
backing up.
Is that your reverse sound?
Yep, just like the bus.
You know, we've been doing this a long time, Joe. I've never heard you do that before.
You got to keep it fresh, man. I got to keep you on your toes.
See, you don't even know that sound makes I have another connotation that goes with this because my son is potty training. My son Carter,
I do, yeah, I know.
Who's 3 years old, and he has a potty that's like a car, and it makes that cool sound when good things happen. We'll leave it at that and clean it up for a TV side. But as a parent, you know what that means. I'm like, hey! I'm like, run downstairs. Celebrate. You betcha, man! I'm like inspirational speaker coach. We did it, man. We did it. Get out of diapers. I'm so sick of those things.
Oh man, it's a celebration time. It
start your college fun once you get out of diapers.
You're not kidding.
So the Rams will move back to about where they caught the ball at the 17-yard line. Lash up top, Palmer down at the bottom. Not going to use either of them. Give it to Powers in the backfield. He'll gain 2 yards on the carry. 2nd and 8 as we're at 11:38. Really no time came off the clock.
4 penalties now for 40 yards for the Rams.
And they haven't really been able to offset them that much by big plays offensively. They certainly had a big passing play for 31 yards. But since then, they've given up the 41, as you mentioned, in penalties. And you'll want to definitely take note, as this usually means good things for Jatarius Grant at the bottom of your screen. He's listed in the wide receiver position, but does a little bit of everything. And a lot of times going out there, he gets the ball, and he's looking for him. But Shepard, lots of pressure in the backfield, goes down with a sack. He'll go down at the 13-yard line, so a loss certainly.
Well, the problem there is they're going max protect, which means they're only sending 2 guys out in the pattern, are the Rams. But Ellet's still getting plenty of pressure, so that's a coverage sack because Trevon Shepard has nobody where to throw the ball except into double coverage, so he takes the sack and more lost yardage for the Rams.
3rd down and 14 with a loss of 6 on the sack. I was trying to think as I was walking in, who was the remember when the Rams had a tight end? He was huge. He was like 6'4". I want to say it was like 2 years ago, but I don't remember his name.
Could it be more than 2 years ago? Could it be one Whitney Merciless who's playing in the NFL right now?
Nah.
Are you sure it wasn't? Do you remember him though?
Yeah, I do remember.
Yeah, I mean, and he is. I mean, he did play tight end for Garfield.
He did. Maybe.
And then he had a fine career at Illinois, and now he is a classic pass rusher, edge rusher, in the NFL.
Oh boy!
And it's really surprising, as we mentioned. You know, if you watch those guys and you would have said who's going to have the better NFL career, Beanie Wells or Whitney Merciless, you would have probably picked Beanie. As Beanie probably would have been picked around here as Garfield. It keeps going back now, 6 penalties for 50 yards, but we probably would have picked Beanie over even Antoine Winfield, who I played against when he played at Garfield, who had a phenomenal pro career as a defensive back. Beanie just could not stay healthy long enough.
Well, and it's been surprising as we have a timeout by the Rams as they're now at 3rd down and 23 that no team ever really took a flyer on him. After he got out of Arizona, I was kind of waiting for that. I'm fully healed. I want one more shot, and it never really came around. Even for a Browns team that had guys after 2 knee surgeries out there running the ball, it was a questionable call not to at least see where he was at to maybe bring a guy like that certainly would have appeal locally to the Browns to see if it would work out.
The shelf life on running backs is so short now. I mean, if you don't see, I mean, what Emmitt Smith was able to do, amazing, because he was good for a long period of time. The life expectancy for running backs in the league, it goes about 3.5 years. A lot of times in your prime.
Well, and that's why And that's why we're seeing now a lot of times you have that big 1 year. That's when you're looking for your extension right now, because you know that you have maybe 1 or 2, 3 years of continued success at a certain level, so you want to try and get paid at the highest level that you're at. Motion coming out of the backfield, and that's Darren Powers. They are on the feet of their own end zone, looking to throw, goes up top into double coverage and intercepting at the 35-yard line. He'll bring it back, has some space in front of him as he continues to run. Javante Ray comes back to the left side and is not able to get away from the Rams, but does get the interception and goes down at the 27-yard line.
You cannot commit penalties to put you in your own hole against them, and then everyone knows you got to go to the air on third down. Javante Ray playing center field out there, got under it.
And really kind of threw up a prayer to him anyway. So Ray on the interception brings it back a little bit, about 7 yards on the return for the interception. Looking to toss the ball right side. Stutter steps, goes back inside and slips on the turf. And Clavon Birch will get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10, 9:40 here in the second quarter.
Yep, Clavon, possibly him and Javante Ray, Cody Hoskinson, Jacob Ivory, quite possibly playing their last game as Orangemen. Little younger team, Darian Powers, quite possibly playing his last ball game. Definitely playing his last ball game for the Rams as the rain coming down even harder, and Ellet will take a timeout.
Well, and while we have the timeout, I mean, Joe, I know you, within your high school career, played football, played basketball, played baseball. Give us a little bit what it's like to have that last game, because you don't really know. A lot of these guys, they don't know if they're going to play sports at any level in college, and certainly probably maybe not this sport. Maybe it's basketball, maybe it's baseball, like you did. Well,
the vast majority of guys don't play. High school is the last time they play because it's only a select few that actually go on and play in college. I mean, I can still remember my last game in each respective sport in high school, and you know, some of them came on good notes and a lot of them come on bad notes, because a lot of times you're in tournament play in other sports and they come on losing notes, but you remember those times, and at that time you're not really thinking about it. But when you get old like us, you always play the what if game. Man, what if we would have actually executed and won that game and things like that. But a lot of fine memories, especially in high school football in this area.
And direct snap is what they did to Jacob Ivory to the right side, trying to get around the corner. And he'll get 8 yards, but flags are down. It looks like we could have a holding call on Charles Pardee back at the 32-yard line, which would be bad. Personal foul, even worse.
Just a bad decision because he's 35 yards away from the play. And I didn't see what he did.
I didn't see either. I just saw
and I know
referee he was looking right at him and threw the flag at where he was at.
I know our referee he's really liked to drop a lot of hankies. He likes to be in charge out there.
Oh.
Yes, he does.
I don't know anybody like that.
Come on, that was 35 yards away from the play. Maybe if he smacked him or something in the open, you can't. Uncharacteristic penalty for Ellet, and this one's really going to hurt.
I know I had, speaking as a basketball referee, had the beginning of our meetings as we begin, going over the new rules for this school year. And it's going to be a brutal first 3 weeks of the season.
What's point of emphasis?
Point of emphasis is hand checks.
Oh, boy.
And
good.
I know about 3 teams here in the City Series, let alone all over Northeast Ohio and through the state. But it's a state rule, and all the way through the high school level. We're mimicking what college has done with not being able to put your hands on them and giving all offensive players freedom, but you could also say an advantage, because if you put a hand on them for more than about a 2 count, you can get a foul. You put 2 hands on them, it's a foul. You put 1 hand on, you take your hand off, you put it back on again, that's a foul again, even though you're not gaining an advantage, which is what the last rule was. You'd have to gain some sort of advantage by keeping your hand or forearm on them. But now no touching, and it's going to be
no touching.
Absolutely stellar to do in CYO.
Yeah.
Because you have to mimic, you know, you should be practicing that, but as they hand the ball off the big penalty, and they'll get part of it back. As they were at the 48-yard line, they'll get up to the 40, so an 8-yard gain on what was a 15-yard penalty, but it happened, again, in the backfield, so almost a 20-yard loss on the play previous to that because of the penalty. They get some of it back, and it'll be 3rd down and still a lot.
A lot.
Still a lot. About.
Or is it 4th down? 4th down, partner.
Sorry, 4th down and 18? 23. Yeah,
it looks like they're going for it. Nah, he's deep, though. He could quick kick here.
Motion coming to the bottom of your screen, and he is going to kick it. Not really sure why, though. Just set it up.
That's why, right there.
Beautiful kick, and he will stop it at the 1-yard line. So Ellet, after big penalties, takes them out. With 7:04 here in the second quarter, they have to punt, and they do very well, and they get it down to the 2-yard line.
Great job by Carver, who came in and punted that there. Good special teams play again by the Orangemen.
Oh, if you're the Rams, you're like, hey, we were just here, and it was 3rd down and 25. Now it's only 1st down and 10. If we get 10 yards, we get a new set of downs.
You know the Orangemen playing what if now. Their 2 losses come to a Talmadge team that's playoff bound more than likely, and a Bookville team who, although they dropped their first 4 out of conference, are undefeated since then in the league play.
And they could be helped when we have their broadcast next week. And a nice run from the 1-yard line, get them up to the 10-yard line. It'll be 2nd and short, 2nd down and 1.
Who was that? Oh, Darian Powers.
And the Rams, hey, we remember now how to block. Let's do it.
Yeah, when they lock on, they're good.
Let's do that.
I'll tell you what, partner, though, Ellet, talk about playing the what-if game. In that game, 3 costly turnovers against the Griffins, and then the Griffins' defense took over in really what was kind of a high-scoring game.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be a low-scoring affair with both teams going at it, and it turned into kind of, for a while there, you thought whoever had the ball last, as they get another very good running play here for a 1st down, do the Rams.
Yeah, it was Jataris Grant's first carry.
But the Orangemen just continuously just kind of hurt themselves, which is so rare for you to say that on a team that are led by, just a team that doesn't normally do that, I would say, getting it out of my mouth because I'm having some trouble. But the Orangemen kind of fell into the speed game from the Griffins because they were able to use their speed defensively, and then they got really just a couple offensive big plays to win the game. As they look to hand the ball off here, they'll get a gain of 6.
Yeah, good to see Jataris Grant getting a couple carries. As you mentioned, that game was 21-21. Certainly our game of the year in the City Series, the one that is separating 1 and 2. That game was 21-21, and actually, Ellet, remember, they had a 4th and 2 partner, and they had a pass play that just was low, and the ball was caught, but the knee hit the ground at about the line of scrimmage, and they were going in for the go-ahead score, and then like right after that, Bookville just took over.
They got 2 late touchdowns, and
big
off
gainer.
they went. And Powers pounds the turf as he wanted to jump over and keep going.
Yeah, he was 1 away from taking that to the house because he saw there were no Orangemen out here, but a nice touchdown-saving tackle by Mackey and company.
I'm not sure it was a tackle, more that
a trip.
He was tripped by his own player.
That might have
block.
been the case. That right? Yeah.
His own player made a good block, but he couldn't get up over top of him in time and stumbled to the ground. But gets 1st and 10. We're at 5 minutes left here in the second quarter. And they want to make a drive. It would be insane to go 99 yards. Let's see if they can do it. They hand the ball off. It almost looked like a slow snap. Like everyone was slow to the line. They get back 3 yards on the carry.
Yeah, that was Sheffield.
It was like everybody's like, did they snap the ball? Everyone kind of stood up. No real push from either side.
But they, like you said, they still get positive yardage.
2nd and 2, 4:40 here in the second.
Speaking of positive yardage, Darian Powers, 7 carries, 39 yards thus far.
Shepard under center. Everything in tight like in a.
Yeah, they're back to the traditional T.
Yeah. Cuts right side back inside, and T for terrific is Darren Powers as he gets 10 yards on the carry, and will get a first down, gets to the 49-yard line, and gets their cylinders rolling on the Rams here.
Leading rusher for the Orangemen, Jacob Ivory, 9 carries, 70 yards for him. So 49 for Powers, 70 for Ivory.
And we saw them make some good passing plays. Did the Rams, but not in a passing formation anymore. Staying with the
full
T.
House. There, oh, wait.
They are going to pass, but lots of pressure, and that's what was the problem before. But flags down in the same area. If it's holding, wow, that's bad news, and it is going to be. But here's the thing. You're going to lose 10 yards. You're going to go to the 40-yard line, or the 39, let's say. On the sack, you would have been at the 42.
I would decline. I would decline the penalty. He's thinking about here. Is he going to take him back? Nope. He's going to.
Moving back a little farther than we should be.
No, it's because it's 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
Yeah.
So, ugh.
And that's what bit them last time is they were in the backfield. Well, it was on the other side for the Orangemen. They were in the backfield, and then you had the personal foul from the spot, which was already 5 yards back, so you lost 20.
Good news, the sack is negated, which would have been the third.
Define good news, Joe.
But when you're holding 5 yards in the backfield, as it is, that's bad news.
1st and 20. Hands the ball off right side. Powers will get some back. Good spin move for the last burst. And he'll get to the 46-yard line, so a gain of 8 on the carry.
First team All-City Series performer. You think I can go ahead and lock that in for Darian Powers? Because you got your choice. It's not offensively. It will be defensively for him because he's been a standout on both sides of the ball.
Getting into 3
lock
minutes
it in.
here. Lock it up. 3
you
minutes
lock it
here
up.
In the second quarter. And going back to him, same play and similar result. The gain of 10. Still moving the pile. And he's got a first down. In 2 plays,
Wow.
he's gone 25 yards for a first down. So
that's
Coach
a little bit of
Sachs,
Ellet's medicine right there.
A good decision to take Coach Yost, makes him send it back farther, but it makes no difference.
I might run it again. The most demoralizing thing in football, Dave, is when a team knows what's coming and you run it anyway. Yeah, they're not happy on the Ellet sideline right now. They just ran the same play and got the same result. Are we going to get off our blocks and hit somebody is kind of the gist of what's going to be said over there in this defensive timeout.
But with more affliction of the voice and a higher tone, I'm sure, from Coach Yost. Want to let you know the City Series football right here in APS 15 is supported by Akron Public Schools. For enrollment opportunities, akronschools.com. Akron Public Schools, smart choice. Also, City Series football right here on APS 15 supported by Akron Public School Career Education, where over 95% of students have passed the Ohio Proficiency Test or the Ohio Graduation Test and earned a high school diploma. For more information, apscareers.com.
Having equipment issues.
I don't know. Maybe put some resumes out, Peter, because yeah, we're done. It's been a nice run, Joe. But if you can't do .coms on the read, we're losing our street cred here. Why? Because it's really nonsense anyway. 2:51 here in the second quarter as they come out of the timeout. I can bet you one thing, Joe. We're not going to see the same play from Garfield, and if we do,
I hope
better
we do.
stuff
I
it
hope
up.
we do.
Now
why are you doing sending him in motion?
Powers in motion to the bottom of your screen. Very similar, same play, and a bigger result this time. Moves Powers out of motion.
Different runner, just an extra blocker.
18 yards on the carry.
I got to keep going that way at the right side because it is working.
You're going to be pissed.
I got to keep going. Right side.
bring the ball up to the college hash mark.
Do you run it that way one time? I keep going right at him.
If you see where the referee put the ball, that's an advantage for the Rams. A little more space to run the same play. This time they sniff it out. Not the same result, but still positive yards, a gain of 2. The referee's helping them out a little bit using the college hash marks and not the high school ones.
Oh, good observation.
I've been doing this.
The high school ones are a little wider.
They are, but it is an advantage to be more towards the center of the field when you're running to the same side over and over and over and over and over again.
You're not kidding.
Well,
very astute point by you, Mr. Schick.
Full house now. Well, kind of the T formation, you could say. Grant goes to the top of your screen. We're going to run it this side? You betcha, huh?
Oh, he just ran over 2 players.
He's going to get a gain of 5. We'll set up 3rd down and 2 here with 1:45, and now you're starting to run against the clock as you're under 2 minutes here in the second quarter.
I like this formation because it gives Sheffield the ball more, and I think he's been a good runner in his limited opportunities for him. 3rd and short. This is where they were stopped last week by East on a play of about this distance.
And you need this one to convert, and they're going to run to the bottom side. Cuts back inside, and Darren Powers will get 5 and a 1st down to make it 1st and goal. They've now gone 80 yards to get to 1st and goal with 1:18 here at the end of the second quarter as we're about ready to go into halftime. And wow, what a momentum shift.
They've gone 90, partner, 90.
Sorry, you're right, 90 yards. 90 yards from where they're at, and Coach Yost knows that this has been a brutal run.
Another timeout.
They have gone all the way through running the ball from the 1-yard line down to the 9, and with 1:05 here in the second quarter, they're knocking on the door.
Yes, somebody there? Yeah, here's the end zone. Same position they were in last week with a chance to go ahead and win the game against East. Remember, they lost it by that 1 touchdown, 38-32. They were stopped, remember, on a 4th down play where they needed a yard, and they lost about 3 on it, where East defense really stepped up in a game where we didn't see a lot of great defensive stops.
Now, we saw the last pass play that the Rams had was for an interception by the Orangemen. You've gone 90 yards running the ball. Do you start passing the ball now here within the 9?
Man.
You got big targets.
You got 2 timeouts left. With these conditions,
well, you've had a lot of success.
I think you run it on 1st down. I really do. I think you keep running it.
I do like the play where they put Powers in motion.
And use him as a blocker.
Yeah.
And get it to Sheffield. Maybe run that to the left side. You know what? They're in the middle of the field. I still got to run right.
Run right.
It's working.
They stay in the T formation.
Don't outsmart yourself.
1:05 left here in the second quarter. They find themselves down, as you can see, a touchdown without 2 extra points. So they need to go for 2. And Power is in motion to the bottom, as I mentioned. And they look to toss it this time. Cuts back inside. Grant at the 5, the 4, knocks him down and gets to the 2-yard line and sets up a very nice 2nd and goal from the 2.
That's a great
with 55
run.
seconds. The clock's going to continue to run as they stay in their regular offense. At some point, you may have to call a timeout.
You got 2 left. You don't want to do it too early.
Yeah, I think you want to.
You don't want to rush here.
You'd rather have the 6. Shepard under center. Big push by the Ellet Orangemen coming through that line, and they think they have the ball. Do you go 98 yards and cough the ball up for a fumble?
You do.
I hope not. Oh, and they do have it. The Ellet Orangemen come up with a fumble. They go 98 yards. They get to the 2-yard line and fumble.
Jacob
right there.
Ivory.
And I couldn't see what exactly happened, but players came up with the ball, and you could see right when they hiked the ball, Joe, there was a big push, almost like they knew what the snap count was going to be. The Orangemen coming into the line of the Rams and snuffed out this drive.
Game changer. Rare turnover by Darian Powers there. Kind of the story of Garfield's season. Just when they do something really effectively and really well, they just cannot put the cherry on top of the sundae and put the ball in the end zone.
So now at the 1-yard line.
You got to sneak it out here.
Ellet's like, just get us into halftime. They come in very close, and they are
You better watch where you put that knee down. I call timeout here if I'm Garfield. Yeah, because they lost the yard. Look at that. He can't go. He can't take a knee here.
But the clock is running.
Oh, call timeout, Garfield.
They're not insinuating they want a timeout. I'm not. This is a weird play too.
Maybe he's going to make them just run one more play, or maybe he won't. Maybe they're going to go to halftime.
This is weird. I agree with you. I would use your timeouts. Why not? You're there right at the 1, and he lets them go into halftime. Being at the 1-yard line, if I could throw my pen all the way down the field, I would. Just threw it into the glass because it was disappointing. Come on, Coach Sachs. Call the timeout. Make them make a play. You could have got a safety. Who knows? But you didn't get an opportunity. That's my yell at Coach Sachs about it. Anyways, Coach Yost makes a good decision and goes into the tunnel with the lead here at halftime. The Orangemen leading 14-6 over the Rams here at Infocision Stadium, Suma Field. Dave Schick and Joe Pacansky will be back in the second half with your first half summary and second half action. Back here as we're looking to kick off, the Rams sent it off to the Ellet Orangemen, who had a great win at the first half, and they're going to start the second half with a bang here. The return, he's going to get him down at the 15-yard line.
Darian Powers.
But does an outstanding job of being able to run from the 15 to the 50, one side of the field to the other. A big hole for the special teams as they're able to come out here at the beginning of the second half and get in great field position and be a sorry, sad face for the Rams. Joe with the first half summary with even better news to share.
The Orangemen, the Orangemen 103 yards, all on the ground, led by Jacob Ivory with 70, Clavon Birch with the rest of those, and that 70-yard return that you just saw there. On the Ellet side, they were led by Darian Powers, who's had 82 yards on 12 carries. As they run the first one to the left side, Garfield stuffs that one out. And then the key for the Rams, 7 penalties for 60 yards plus 2 turnovers. That last fumble by Powers on the 1-yard line is where we had it at halftime. So Ellet takes over in good field position. For the Orangemen, they've done really a great job in the return game and the punt game, playing field position game. That's been a key stat in that first half, as well as to start the second half, Dave.
Even though they almost kneeled in the end zone.
Yes, they did.
I'll try not to be cranky about here in the second half. Pitch out to the right side, and great one-on-one tackling by Powers.
Powers, my gosh.
A loss of 6 on the tackle.
Campaign season, you're a first-teamer, Darian. We have seen him 4 times this year. Has he had a bad game? No.
Not that I can remember, Joe. Let me think about it.
Let me answer it. No.
Well, Joe, I really think you should wait for my answer first.
I don't need to. I was going to listen to your answer anyway.
It was more of a rhetorical
unless
question.
You agreed with me.
3rd down and 18. Oh, man. 2 hours of rain, folks. Isn't that a great time to play football? You bet. So
they're going to throw it.
That'll put Haverstick in the shotgun. They're going to let everybody through and look to complete a short pass, as they do. They will have a gain of 6 on the passing catch.
Mitchell Carver, good execution on that screen. They have 2 options there to go out to Birch on the right flat or come back with the middle screen. They chose Carver, and as partner mentioned, they got 6 back. Haverstick's first pass attempt in the game. They're going to kick a field goal here, try to make it a 2-score game.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did, and
they will.
So the holder is going to be Cameron Brake. Still trying to kind of get in there. Garfield slow to get to the line. The kick is up.
They kicked that real good.
And it is in there. So the field goal is good. They go up 17-6. Who's our kicker, though?
That was Garrett Jones, and I'm getting the line of scrimmage on that was the 16-yard line. So 33-yard field goal. Jones, that would have been good from 40. The left footer boots it through.
An interesting play call there because when you look at how Garfield came out, they were slow to the line and they weren't ready to try and come after this kick. which I'm not saying was necessarily blockable, but you should be there trying to do it at least.
Yeah, really a great job by the Garfield defense to hold there after giving up the big kickoff return. But good special teams play by the Orangemen as they decide to go for the field goal, and it's a good decision by Coach Yost and his coaching staff.
So with 9:39 here in the third, they score again as they did in the first quarter as well as in the second quarter. At the beginning of the second, they got their second touchdown in. First touchdown was by Birch from 1 yard out, and then Ivory, a 32-yard scamper for the second touchdown, and now a 33-yard field goal for Jones. On the return, coming straight up the center, he's going to get to the 38-yard line and go down there. So finally a good return for the Rams as they're looking for a spark. They went 98 yards to finish the second quarter. They get to the 1 yard line only to have a fumble recovery by the Rams, and they were really putting together a nice drive going back to the T formation and able to run the distance of the field, but a turnover flipped the score and they went into halftime down 14-6. But now we're here in the third quarter and things hopefully will be better for them. Back into the T as we saw. Hopefully the Orangemen discussed how to stop this. They were running to the bottom of your screen off the right tackle. They go left side here. Grant is going to be hit at the line of scrimmage, and we got a pile of people not going anywhere. So we'll stay there. 2nd and 10. Nine minutes. We are approaching 2nd and 9 as mentioned. Shepard will be under center with Sheffield, Grant, and Powers in the backfield. And just barely gets through, but Powers gets 6 yards on the carry.
Powered his way through there. I mean, he was stopped probably for about a 1 yard gain. He bounced off contact and got about 5 more.
3rd down and 4. And I hope that that drive that they weren't able to get any points on at the end of the second quarter, right before halftime, didn't deflate what they had going on, because an excellent drive and execution as they bring Powers in motion. This time they sniff it out, and Sheffield isn't able to go anywhere. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, about a 1 yard gain, so 4th down and 4.
They were more than prepared for that play. Good halftime adjustments.
Because they saw it over and over again as it went down the field. And now they will punt it away.
Could this be a fake?
Does not look like it, but it could be wrong. So a 3 and out if they do kick it away. He gets the snap, kicks it away. Nice kick. Hits at the 28, takes a big bounce for the Rams as they let it keep going, and then it'll go down to the 12-yard line, and that's where the Orangemen will take over.
"44 yards on the punt for Lash. Worst field position starting of the night for the Orangemen.
And we've seen both teams at times really hurt themselves with penalties. That one there, no penalties, but 3 and out. And that's what they need to happen here, to maybe get a 3 and out here deep in their own territory for the Orangemen and get some good field position. Split backs behind Haverstick. A long count. Hands the ball off, goes right, cuts back left. Good pursuit and tackle by Nolan Palmer. He does end up getting 3 on the carry, but certainly limited as he drug him down to the turf.
Yeah, Birch, it looked like he had more real estate, but Palmer held on for dear life and made a nice open field tackle there.
So I'm surprised, Joe, you had Zach here last time. You didn't petition Mom to come with you to a second game?
It's Nana's birthday party tonight, so
I'm sure that has.
they went out to eat, and we get to call football.
Almost tackled as he handed the ball off. Haverstick is able to get it to Jacob Ivory, and he's going to be just short of the first down. So it'll be third down, a 6-yard carry, third down and 1, as we're at 6:20 here in the third quarter.
Dave, just a little update on the Ellet Orangemen. They sit 11th right now in D2 Region 4, not mathematically eliminated. 4 teams have clinched playoffs. 2, if they win, are in, and then there's Walsh Jesuit
Cuts through the
and
line,
a couple
runs
others.
left. Great running by the Orangemen, and he's going to get from the 21 all the way to the 46, so a 25-yard gain.
Clevon Birch again.
Birch on a great carry, just flashed through the line, and off he went into the secondary. Sorry to cut you off, Joe.
No. Say no more.
Near the Roo.
Or say lots more. Your choice.
I tend to do one better than the other, and that's the talking more than talking less. I formation, Haverstick hands the ball off, left side. I should almost have like a sound clip that I could just press to hand the ball off, because I've said it pretty much the entire night. We've had, what, 6 passes?
This one thus far making up for last week's. That was
one of the longest
a
games
marathon,
I've ever
yeah.
done.
I got the "Are you done yet?" at 9:45. Of course, like you said, I have my son here, and I was, I think it was like 15 minutes later, I texted back, game just ended, and it was a good 3-hour game.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of passing, but it wasn't like teams threw it 30 times. They only threw it 17, 18 times, which is a lot, but not.
Looking to pass. First one of the night, over the top, has a man wide open, but does he get it in? No, he doesn't. Threw it a little bit behind his intended receiver. If he would have let him across the left side of the field, it would have been a touchdown, as their first passing play from scrimmage tonight would have been a huge gain for a touchdown. But now you see why they don't pass that much, as the pass was intended for Cameron Brake, but it wasn't in a good position.
He almost held on to that, yeah. He throws a nice ball, does Haverstick. Then again, they went max protect, one guy out in the pattern there. And Devontae Lash also made a good defensive play with catch-up speed to knock that away. Third and long now.
Third and long as they'll run to the right, this time staying with Ivory as he goes through the line of scrimmage and still on his feet. He's at the 20, 15, 10, 5, and he's in for the touchdown. Can you believe it? A 50-yard run by Ivory. And he looked like he was going to be tackled 2 or 3 times as he came through players and then just split through and turned on the Jets.
You can see whenever they run outside and run sweep, though, they got 2 and 3 blockers out there pulling out. And I'm like, where Garfield doesn't have the numbers. I mean, Garfield has one more than they have because they have a quarterback pitching them the ball, and they're just not pursuing the football. But a great move by Ivory to bust that thing for the big gain. And Ellet has busted it open here in the third quarter.
And they'll set up for the extra point. The kick is up, and it is good, and they continue rolling on. So two straight points possessions for the Orangemen as they're able to come down. They hit a 33-yard field goal on their first possession, and this time Ivory runs 50 yards out to the right side and gets another touchdown and puts them up 24-6. And we may be putting the Rams team to bed because the first offensive possession, 3 and out, and they just haven't been able to play well offensively enough and certainly defensively enough to make enough stops to get back into this game.
I got a feeling.
And we're saying that in the third quarter.
I got a feeling on the defensive side of the football, the Orangemen were not very happy at halftime and probably addressed that. And as we saw in their first defensive possession, they came out with more emotion and more execution to go with it.
So they score at 9:39 and 4:44 here in the third quarter. So the first quarter in this game that has a team scoring twice. And looking to kick this one is Jarrett Jones again. He'll line it up.
Ivory now 12 carries, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
And Joe will have our career education player of the game, and those are the type of numbers you're looking for to get that. A return of 3 yards gets them to the 26-yard line. And again, good special teams play by the Orangemen.
That's kind of been a theme for us, and they've really done it in different ways. They've only punted once, but they pin them at the 2-yard line. They've had a couple of returns, only a couple, but they've gotten them great field positions. Their kick coverage has been phenomenal. And so have you, partner.
Thank you.
Trick or treat done for you yet?
Yeah.
Hence all the candy?
My kids are done, yeah. We did the
We went last Saturday. Oh, that was a good call. It was 70. Tomorrow, a lot of people are doing it.
yeah.
Well, here's a big run.
Powers has 10 and 18 on the run. So he'll go a very good run for him. They get the ball moving.
And when you take as much pounding as he does, I'm okay with him running out of bounds. Actually, that's a smart play. It wasn't going to get him any more yards to stay in. It stops the clock, and he gets out of bounds. Great run again for Darian Powers.
Yeah, we did, what was it, last weekend when it was nice out.
Mm-hmm.
They did a trunk or treat at my daughter's school.
Yeah, that's fun.
And you don't realize, like, when you go house to house, you're like, hey, we did 2 blocks, you know. We did hit, 16 houses. You know, you don't walk very far to do 16 cars in a parking lot. It's like rapid fire. My kids couldn't say trick or treat and thank you fast enough. Trick or treat, thank you, and then they're at like 2 steps to the next car. So they got a bunch of candy from that, and I'm hoping my wife. See, my kids are young enough. You can
pick and choose.
They don't know how much candy they really got.
Right.
They don't really keep track of it. There's no inventory done. So we're like, well, they collected a lot of candy already. We'll use that candy to disperse back out.
Oh, wow.
Because it's so much candy. And you could tell my daughter's behavior chart has been atrocious this past week because there's just way too much candy. And they sniffed this one out.
That's a good play.
There's going to be a loss of 3 yards after the gain.
Jackson Pemberton there read
Third
that
down and
out.
7. Yeah, she had two yellow days at the preschool. I'm like, Grace, you can't be yellow. And she's like, she told me, Dad, I don't like quiet time. I don't like rest time. Why don't you like rest time? Because I have to be quiet. I go, well, that's why it's called quiet time and rest time, because you're supposed to be quiet.
Oh.
And I know what she does. Like, she wants to talk to her friends, but she's not allowed to. So then her and her friends started passing notes back and forth, which I think is fine, except for there's becoming a discussion about what the notes are, passing back and forth. And we're in junior kindergarten, by the way. We're not.
That's impressive, writing notes in kindergarten, junior kindergarten.
Well, they draw pictures of princesses, and then they trade them back and forth, and hearts and butterflies, and write each other's name.
It might be 4-down territory here as they're right at the 50. Yeah, they're going to go for it. Fourth and a short 2. 4th
down and 2:35 here in the third quarter. It's also 24-6, so it becomes 4th down territory with that. And he's going to get it. I think he's going to get it. Let's see where the spot is. It's about.
Yep.
Yeah, wow. You probably could have measured it.
Yeah, probably. Hey, I saw this.
You probably could have measured it.
Wave them on. It probably was maybe by a quarter of a football, maybe a half a football. Nah, it's pouring down rain. Let's get this first down. Good lean forward by Powers because Jackson Pemberton gave him first contact at about the line of scrimmage, but Powers with leg drive got enough for the first down.
Snaps the ball, looks right, throws it. Caught by Grant. He's going to get 5 yards on the catch, 6 yards on the catch, and make it 2nd and 4.
Yeah, you'll take that on first down.
And maybe that's what you have to do. You're down big.
Just mix it in.
It is keep getting those pass plays in because you need something to open the run game up, and you need really big plays to get back into the game.
Right.
And that's why they call me captain of the obvious. Up top, they'll have Palmer, who hasn't got a ball thrown to him yet. Oh, no, he has the catch. Flash has not had a ball thrown to him that was catchable because he got interfered with.
He got assaulted.
He did run him over, but this will be a about 3-yard gain set up first, 3rd down and 1 for the first down. I gotta keep my candy under control. Too much sugar.
Your candy eating, yeah.
Yeah. Who put this box of candy over here, Peter? See, this is what Peter does. It's kind of sneaky. As they hand the ball off right side.
I don't think so that time.
No, that's a first down, too.
No.
Bet you he waves him.
That's not a first
It's the same spot it was before.
That's short. He got to the line of scrimmage. And you are correct. No, Coach Yost is right on that marker. He wants that measured. He's like, come on. So I guess we'll give Powers 1.
Yeah, but you see how far away that referee is from Coach Yost? He's not. No, we're just.
Keep it moving, guys. It's raining.
The clock is running. As we're under 40 seconds here in the 3rd quarter, as I mentioned it. A gain of 6. 2nd down and 4 coming up. Yeah, they're setting up, and then it's like, all right, we're just no review, no talking about, no discussing. We did that in the first half when it was still raining.
Garfield's won the time of possession battle in this game. They've ran more plays than the Orangemen, actually gained as many yards as the Orangemen, just have not finished drives.
Fakes the handoff, looking to pass over the top, has one-on-one coverage. It says it'll be in the pocket, and he catches it for the touchdown. That one is on the money, and that one is good for 6 points and a touchdown. As that one goes in, and he's able to catch it, and he puts it right in the spot where he needed to, about 2 yards into the end zone. And it kind of looked when he let go of it, and it was intended for Nolan Palmer. It looked like it was kind of overthrown, but Palmer just runs right underneath it and grabs it. And why do we appeal? Okay.
Clavon Birch was down on that.
He's down. I didn't see him down in the end zone. I just saw the coaches on the field and said, hey, why are they on the field? I just thought Coach Yost was
nice
pissed.
Comeback there by.
You should have measured those two.
That's
would have had a first down. But comes over to his player. Now there is 2 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter.
Almost, partner, an instant replay of what happened in the first half on their touchdown connection, the play action. And when you can run the ball effectively, it makes play action effective. Just ask the Cleveland Browns.
What did he pass for?
30 yards that time. Oh, I said almost the first half it was a 31-yarder. They haven't thrown it much, but Shepard now 3 for 5 in the ball game for 67 yards and 2 touchdown passes. So they've thrown it effectively while they haven't thrown it a lot.
While we have the time, I want to let you know City Series football right here on APS 15, supported by Akron Public Schools with student opportunities in visual arts, including drawing, painting, ceramic, sculpture, photography, and computer design. Akron Public Schools at akronschools.com. Also, City Series football right here on APS 15, supported by Akron Public School Career Education, where adult vocational services have been providing career training to adult learners for over 55 years. Over 350,000 people have enrolled in these customized programs designed to meet the ever-changing needs of Akron area business, industry, and government. For more information, apscareers.com. Well, maybe we won't look at resumes.
Don't forget, partner, our final telecast of the year will be from Kenmore High School as the Bookdale Griffins look to win the outright City Series championship. A win, and they will do that as they would go a perfect undefeated 6-0 in the series. They look to do that in our next telecast. It's Bookdale at Kenmore.
It should be a good one, and probably. And we had talked about this when we saw Kenmore play previous in the year. Is that's a team that's very quick, and not that I think that Bookdale is going to be able to take care of business. So hopefully they'll be celebrating, and that'll be a good thing. But matching up speed-wise against Bookdale can make games closer than you would think they would be.
Well, conditions, too. We'll see what conditions are like this time of year. There's no guarantees. Both teams run the football. Kenmore does not want to throw the football. They want to run. They want to run the football. They want it to be a 7-6 type of a game. As they finally get Birch off the field, he went down. He was on defense, and he either got rolled under, but he's walking up off really gingerly.
I was wondering whether you're going to say like a gingerly or a slowly.
Well, it's gingerly, and I can't tell what it is because of the way he's walking. I mean, it could very well be a head too, because
he's kind of limping, but they do have an arm on him, so it could be potentially something else.
12-point game. They're going to go for 2. It looks like.
So they're going to go for 2. 2 seconds left here in the third quarter, as they're able to get the. Oh, they move everybody out of the backfield.
Shifty.
On the shift, the toss to Powers around the corner, has to get through 2 defenders.
Good
and
open
can't
field
get
tackle, Devontae Ray.
And he takes him down, as well as Jackson Pemberton. So they stop the 2-point conversion, and they leave it at 24-12.
So a nice drive by Garfield to keep themselves in the football game.
Yeah.
Strike to Nolan Palmer. He's having an efficient night. 2 catches, 61 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's efficient.
That it is. And you wonder why there's not more opportunity.
Only 6 yards of passing for the Orangemen. Their main damage has been Jacob Ivory, but Garfield can sure probably key on him a little more because his running mate, Clavon Birch, who's also added 50-plus yards, just left the ball game with an injury.
Brake probably would have had a 50-yard catch if that ball had been thrown 5 yards to the left,
right,
instead of behind him, because he had space. He could have just, if you could have hit him in stride, he would have been gone. So Garfield, for the first time, they're going to kick off an onside kick. Try and make things interesting, but they're able to catch it at the 42-yard line.
Nobody was ready, and they were offsides anyway. No, that's the tee. It was a good kick, but nobody got there to cover it up on either side. It's like slow motion, but Ellet will take it. Good field position, too.
Here's the thing is, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. You're giving up about 20 yards. But the chance of you recovering it is low. I think the chance of you making a stop on, I don't know.
Their kick coverage has not been very good either, so maybe
That's
that
true.
played into the part last couple of weeks.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
that'll
maybe
do
it
it.
Maybe it did.
Can I go now? Okay.
I guess.
That's the end of the third quarter here. 24-12. Mix in candy and some football.
I thought you were leaving. You said, "Can I go?" I thought you were leaving.
Well, I was,
I was like, "Go
ahead.
ahead."
End of the quarter.
You want to beat the traffic or what?
End of the quarter. Usually you read the score, and then you go over some spots. So I read the score. City Series football here at APS 15.
It's Halloween. That's what you want to get downtown to check out some costumes. The rain's going to keep the crazies at bay tonight, or are they already inside?
I'm sure I'll see a couple near my car. I always do.
They go wide again.
My wife and I are going to a party tomorrow night, and we're going as treble and bass from the song, where it's all about the bass.
What are you going to be?
I'm going to be the no treble.
So what does that look like?
Well, it is a white box that I'll be wearing that I painted myself at home.
You guys are clever.
And I'll put the
clever,
like
not clever. That's not a word.
We could go as that too if we could figure out what it is. And I'll put the symbol of the treble, and then I'll put a line through it as you don't want the treble.
Good news, Ellet fans. As you hear the bass out of my voice, Clavon Birch back into the ball game, and he gets the carry there for 4 yards. And what's base? Is base going to be a white box as well, or is that going to be a black box? Or
No, she went white box too, but like I have a box that I'm wearing, and she has like the two, more of like the the regular signs where they hang from your body. So she has like the 2 pieces of cardboard that she'll have.
Send that to my wife's Facebook, and send me a.
We're friends.
Pic.
We'll
yeah,
see.
you guys are friends now.
You'll see it. I'll probably see some pictures. I don't know. This party, there's like the one couple that's like super creative and spends like hours upon hours. I remember 2 years ago her husband came as like Oscar the Grouch, and he like made his own trash can costume.
That's awesome.
It was awesome, but you have no shot at trying to win best costume.
Win the prize.
The closest we got is when we went as Big Bird and Mitt Romney. I was Mitt Romney. I was campaigning the whole night, and we came in second.
That's awesome.
And
Big Bird and Mitt. Okay.
Yeah.
Reverse the Mackey.
Wow, he has the whole side of the field.
Another touchdown saver, possibly.
Yeah. But he gets 10 yards on the carry, but a great job by the Rams to stop him from getting in the end zone, and that's Tavon Mason on the tackle.
I think one of the keys to this football game, other than special teams.
I wasn't even talking about Halloween.
Oh, I just want to do it real quick. Is the ability for Ellet to get outside at will, and that's because they have sealed down the defensive end and corners of Garfield all night. Back to Halloween, go.
I was gonna say, when you're a political costume, people's political alliances hurt your chances of winning best costume.
Oh, that's true. Unless you were like, say, if you were going to do Mitt Romney at the,
or if we were both sides, maybe.
If you did it like Tuesday night at a restaurant where the Republicans are having their victory party, you would definitely win that. But then if you did it at the Democratic headquarters,
but there's people that wouldn't vote for me for best costume because they didn't like Mitt Romney. I was like, well,
yeah,
that's not my.
But that's not you're not saying you like him or not either.
I'm not asking for the vote. I'm asking for the funny part of the costume.
Did you have the like perfect hair?
I did, and I put like stuff in it so it looked like it was a little gray.
We had a kid come as Mitt Romney. It was great. It was great. And another one that came as Abraham Lincoln that was awesome too last year.
I remember when I was in high school, we had a President's Day party, and you were supposed to dress up as your favorite president. And I didn't really have there was already an Abraham Lincoln coming. Obviously, presidents are pretty popular when given the theme. So I went as the elephant from the Republican Party. And then this one I love high school because the one girl went as what you could call a donkey, but it was less dressed up. We'll just leave it. Just figure it out at home.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
How I think. 2 more for Clavon Birch as he's getting a steady diet of carries since he's come back in the ball game. 3rd and 5 for the Orangemen. They're going to pass.
Here we go. He's wide open again. This time he catches it at the 8, makes a move to the outside, and
he's in.
He's waiting. I'm not seeing. There's the signal. Hands are up for the touchdown on the pass.
Maurice Mackey
gets it. Another great pass, and this time right in stride to catch it, make the turn, and make the move for the pylon. And that's what they're doing. Piling on points are the Orangemen. 30-12 now with 8:14 here. Oh, can you say in the fourth quarter? Oh, fourth quarter.
I got to tell you about today's Halloween costume, but we'll do that after the PAT.
Right. What's the yardage?
We got an official time. 28 yards for Maurice Mackey from Garrett Haverstick. Nice play action. When you're able to run the ball effectively, partner, the play action becomes that much more effective. You can't establish a running game? Ask Cleveland Browns the last 2 weeks. Then your passing game tends to suffer, especially when you have receivers that cannot get separation.
So one of my questions was, and this is not going into going just the Browns and not to our Halloween or actual game that we're calling subject matter. So Josh Gordon suspended for 10 games.
Correct.
Now, is that 10 games played, or does that include the 11th game because you had a bye?
He'll be back week 12, I believe.
Yeah.
Blocked, and I mean blocked into next week as it rests on the Suma Field sign. But the first miscue really all night by the Ellet defense, but they score. I know I'm wondering the same thing because he's on my fantasy team. I think he's out 2 more weeks. But Ellet with the big touchdown reception takes a 30-12 lead. 8:14 left in the fourth quarter. Today is our spirit week at schools because it's week 10 in football season.
Yeah.
A lot of people have their
Rivals.
spirit days. Well, today's Halloween day, and we have a lot of people that, unfortunately, Spirit Week isn't what it used to be in a lot of places. And just kids don't dress up very much, but they do on Halloween day. And my winning costume of the day, we have about a 6'5", 6'6" junior at our school that came dressed as a nun today. And as a 6'6" guy, that thing was about 7 foot tall. And 6'6", he's kind of awkward and lanky, and it was a little short on him, the skirt, because he's 6'6". I just laughed every time I saw him. Then he was playing basketball in the gym with it, and it was just it was a good moment.
That is a good one.
So then I was like, are you the flying nun? But he really can't jump well, so that's not true. And then somebody was like, I'm going to hold you to nun points, and we play, and
There's a
it goes on.
there's a basketball movie about nuns. I forget what it's called though.
Is that Sister Act 3?
Probably. Returns this one from the 15 to the 34-yard line. So a return of 19 with 8:04 here in the fourth. They'll continue to run the clock because I think we have figured out the outcome of tonight's ball game. It's really only 2 score. Well, still 3 score.
Yeah.
Even going for 2, you still need that additional points. So given your lack of big plays and execution,
The Ram offense has done enough today, but their defense has not stopped
and
Ellet Orangemen.
and their mistakes have been very big,
Like
that one.
could have been. Shepard bobbles the snap and just hops on it for a no gainer.
On the run play, a gain of 0. Why? Because we fumbled it.
Not fun to play in the rain, trust me, as a quarterback. And we really haven't had any problems with exchanges tonight.
We've had fumbles.
Couple.
A couple.
One that really hurt. But that came off a big hit.
Offset eye for the Rams. Shepard fakes the toss. Pressure coming right there. Can't get away and goes down. On the sack is going to be Cody Hoskinson. It's going to be a loss of 7.
4th time Shepard's gone down today.
3rd down and 17. 7:20 here in the 4th. And that, you could say, has been the synopsis of the game and or season, depending on what game you covered for the Rams. A fumble, a couple miscues, a couple big penalties. Nothing that totally blows you out, but takes you out just enough to win games how you could have. Blitz almost coming. There's the flag. He stepped over. And the Orangemen, I would say, doing a good job at anticipating
The snap. Yeah.
I mean, that one there was too early. But even on there, when they were on the 1-yard line, knocking on the door in the second quarter, noticeably you saw their defensive line make a bigger push and anticipate that call and that count.
Yeah, they jumped
to
a
get an
little too
advantage.
much there as they get called
they
for
got called.
offsides. Yeah.
3rd down and 12. Now looking to pass. Better protection this time. Throws up to the corner, but he's got protection there. And Lash tries to make the catch, but a great job by Clavon Birch to knock it out as he was looking back as well. And Lash might have wanted to come into him a little bit, at least try and get the contact and make the catch up over top.
It looked like Shepard kind of threw that one up for grabs, but the end result was actually a perfectly thrown ball as he gave Latch a chance to make a play on that. And that almost went for a big play, but Birch got the paw up there at the last second, knocked it away.
4th down and 12.
It has rained
The entire time.
and it has rained the same amount the entire time. Steady, never a complete downpour, but it has not lightened up one time. It's been, I mean, it's not late either.
Catches the snap. Had a little pressure in front of him. Didn't get as good a kick as I think he wanted because of it. And they down it at the 38-yard line. So off the punt, the Orangemen, or the Elletmen, as we mentioned in the first half, the Elletmen will take over. Just abbreviate everything.
I wonder if Ellet has ever played Orange High School. I think it's the Ellet
Probably.
Orangemen and the Orange.
But they're in different divisions, I think.
Yeah.
But they could play them.
Maybe someday. Maybe not.
Maybe not. Hands the ball off left side. This time played well contained. Still gains 2, running north-south. 6:20 here in the fourth.
Birch gets his 15th carry in the game.
It's kind of the law of the game where it kind of seems out of hand. You lose that intensity of the game being close and going either way. Hence us talking about Halloween, as you could tell earlier.
Yeah. Ellet would be definitely content to run it out here if they could.
New formation that
Whoa,
we've seen.
we got movement. I think Maurice Mackey's like, that's on me. He throws his hands in the air. Movement really on both sides. But the offense causes the defense to move, and Ellet commits their 4th penalty of the game. And the Cavs are playing better tonight, by the way.
Oh, thanks for the heads up.
Yeah.
I have 2 fantasy basketball teams.
Do you?
Yeah. I try.
Is that all individual players?
Yeah.
Do you play with just
I
open
just
leagues
ran
or friends?
Open leagues.
Oh, okay.
I don't have enough friends that want to do it.
Is it every night and a lot of switches?
Yeah, you kind of have to manage it every day.
Yeah, that's what.
But I like the league enough to do it. And then last year I did 1 team. This year I really wanted Kevin Love, and I didn't get him in the first team, so I did a second. And I still didn't get him.
Oh, really?
1 pick out. Well, because you don't know where you're picking
What
till the
round
draft
does he
starts.
go?
He goes early 2nd round.
Because of points and rebounds.
Points, rebounds, 3-pointing. I mean, if you look at them, not many power forwards gets you 14 rebounds and are going to hit 150 threes throughout the season.
I was going to say, is there a better power forward? Aldridge, maybe?
Aldridge is good. He's not as good. Ibaka, who plays power forward and center, would be better because of his percentages and blocks, which is a tough category to win.
Oh, Garfield takes a timeout with 4:27.
So
now, do they field goal percentage? Everything counts. It's not just points.
field goal,
rebounds.
3-throw, points, steals, assists, 3-pointers made.
How many guys do you play in a standard? Like 2 at each position, or?
You have like your starting 5, and then a guard and a forward, and then 3 utilities. So you start 10.
Okay.
So, but Kevin Love he went at the end of the first round. So I already used my first round pick on James Harden at 5. I was going to get Kevin Love at 5. And then the second one, I think I was going to pick him like.
Did Durant
12.
still go as high even though he's hurt?
He went in the 2nd round in one league, and he went in the 3rd round in the other.
Where
league.
he would have been the 2nd or 3rd pick? Is that how high he would go?
Yeah, he would have been the 2nd pick.
Or LeBron goes first. Okay.
Well, he might have been first or 2nd, depending
Okay.
on. If he would have played the whole season, he might have been first. But
who's the best point guard? Chris Paul?
He is the first point guard off the board.
Rose goes high
No, not that high.
because of injury.
Because they think he's going to miss games.
How about Kyrie?
Kyrie was a mid-second round pick, if not early first round. I picked Lillard right ahead of him
Oh, yeah.
because I think he's going to play more games, and I'm still not convinced Kyrie can play a whole season.
He's got to prove it.
And Lillard gives a similar type points. Not as great percentages from the 3-throw line, but very similar numbers. My first team was really good. The second team, not as good. I reached for some guys because I wanted a different team.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I would have had pretty much the same team. But my first team's going to dominate.
Ellet forced a punt. How many teams in the league?
10. So you get decent players. It isn't until like the last 2 rounds you really
Getting
you're
backups
stretching.
then. And
You can get guys that play, but they're not big producers. Most people don't know them. I think I had Plumlee with my last pick. That's my sleeper. Oh,
Reverse.
flea flicker, reverse.
he's wide open.
He's got to hit him, and he does at the 45. Comes back into the 40, down to the 36-yard line. And that's our first big play for the Rams as they're getting a little trickery here with 4:11 here in the fourth quarter.
Still Trevon Shepard, as he just comes from the wide receiver spot off the reverse for lots of yards. 34, 16, and another. I'll figure it out. Hold on. How about 30 yards on that one, on the hookup to Jataris Grant?
Moves more to the traditional. No, still Powers in the backfield. 5 wide here for the Rams. And they're going to run it up the center with Powers. He'll get 6 on the carry.
Nice little different wrinkle here. 21 carries now for Darian Powers. 124 yards for Darian. Another ho-hum 100-plus yard night for Powers.
Well, and kind of looking at the Garfield team, next year you'll have Shepard back. You'll have Sheffield back, Jataris Grant back. So you're going to have some good pieces of the Rams team coming back. Obviously, you're going to miss Palmer, Lash, and Powers. But there's some nice other pieces that they've developed this year to do well.
Nothing doing there as Powers didn't read his block and tried to bounce it out. Nothing doing. He loses 3.
I think you look at on the other end for the Orangemen, as we're under 3 minutes now here in the fourth. The Orangemen will have Birch graduate, Ivory graduate. Now you are going to have Haverstick back. He's an underclassman as a sophomore playing quarterback. Cameron Brake is their wide receiver. He's going to be a sophomore coming back. But other than that, we haven't seen a lot of other underclassmen making any notable differences outside of linemen where they've played well there. But those marquee matchups of offensive players, a lot of them are going to be putting the caps on and heading to the next chapter for the Orangemen.
Yeah, they were a team that was really hit hard by graduation last year.
Well,
and
the couple pieces that helped them last year are now done this year, so next year is going to be almost a complete reset. In my opinion.
They're going to get a little bit younger, but I think they're going to have some younger guys, especially linemen and interior players, that might help to be able to fill that void, whereas they do not have those skilled position players back now. So maybe a little bit more balance in the offense next year with the quarterback coming back.
3rd down and 6. Shepard back in at quarterback now, 4 wide, looks to go down the sideline. He does to Palmer. Palmer goes inside, back outside, and inbound still. Out of bounds.
Gets enough for the first down, anywho.
But looking at it, I always feel better when you bring that quarterback back. Kind of what we saw with Ellet about 5 years ago when they had a lot of those players kind of come up together, and then last year they had kind of the season of dreams. Didn't end like they wanted to dream-wise, but
nobody covering Lash out here. Nobody on him. Finally, they get somebody on him.
They don't pass to him though either.
Powers was tackled in the backfield, and then he squirted away and just ran over somebody for a tough 3 yards.
2:20 here in the fourth quarter. A game that is certainly in the third, I think they put it away with the field goal and then the next possession getting a touchdown. 50-yard run from Ivory for the touchdown with 4:44 in the third quarter. Kind of put things away. Now we're just kind of playing around here as we're under 2 minutes. And officials timeout for, I'm not sure why.
For what?
It's equipment failure.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. Powers comes up to the center. I'm not sure what he's going to say. What he said, maybe change something.
Change the play here?
Grant moves out of the backfield. He's going to pass it. And he doesn't have time to pass it, but he throws it up. And we would have been intercepted, but he can't catch it. Birch.
You said it. Should have been intercepted, without a doubt.
Birch should have intercepted it, but he didn't. But
it's almost like he had to wait on it too long.
The good thing is he didn't have to, because he's still going to win the game. So
good call. And Ellet with the win, Dave. They'll keep their slim playoff hopes alive, so we'll stay tuned. I mean, the chances are they need a lot of help. Not a miracle, but a lot of help.
Not that we were approved for playoff coverage anyway, which I know is what you at home were thinking
And they would be on the road. We'll go up to Toledo. Come on.
3 wide receivers up top. Only 2 people. He's coming over. A quick snap. Could have done it. He's going to go left side to Lash, who goes up. And no good.
Nope, on third down.
Good
Lash has been shut out today.
That's what I was expecting the last time they went to Lash, but he kind of was almost waiting for it to come down to his hands, and Birch was able to just knock it out.
And I will say Shepard is certainly the best passer that the Rams have had since we've started our coverage here of City Series football. 5 for 9. He hasn't turned the ball over, and he's thrown it for 108 yards tonight, including a couple touchdowns. Nice job by Shepard. He has been sacked 4 times. That hurts. But
figuratively and literally.
And on those sacks, really no chance to, I mean, just jailbreak type of sacks. One was a covered sack where he held onto the ball rather than force a pass and try to turn it over. The story of the night, though, really the running backs. Darian Powers in his final game has ran it for 130 yards. Hasn't gotten in the end zone, but another workmanlike effort playing on both sides of the ball. And on the other side, Clavon Birch with a touchdown and Jacob Ivory with a couple of touchdowns. Throw in Nolan Palmer. He's been the offense. He's been the end zone guy for the Rams. 3 catches, 72 yards with 2 touchdowns. Those are the big players in the ball game. But Ellet really, their special teams play and up front, especially at the end of the first quarter and through that the middle quarters, they dominated the line of scrimmage. That's the difference in the ball game. That's my prelude to a City Series play of the game that I'll give you in a minute.
That's good. I'll need that. Powers, he's kind of doing like a dance coming out of the backfield, and the ball bobbled on the – apparently the center was doing a dance, but he hiked the ball as well, and Shepard had to jump on it. So a 4th down and 6 turns into a turnover because you can't hold on to the ball off a bad snap, and Powers kind of consoles Shepard as they come off the field. Shepard not happy with that situation. 1:35, though, left here, and the Orangemen will be happy to be 95 seconds away from getting out of the rain and into something called shelter where it will be warm.
Will be their third 8+ season win in a row here for the Orangemen, having nice success here the last few years.
Yeah, Coach Yost kind of on autopilot.
Won't win the outright title this year, as that's going to go to Bookdale if they take care of business in our next telecast.
They will play against Kenmore for you next week.
Kenmore going to try to play the role of spoiler here and give Ellet at least a share of that, as they would tie. Bookdale, we'll see if they come out as hungry as they did when we saw them against the Orangemen. If they do, they should be celebrating tomorrow.
The good thing
next week
is you're hoping there's a big Halloween party in Bookdale that goes because
candy,
I'm telling you.
Well,
this is what
candy.
I'm saying. 12 o'clock games for a high school student on a Saturday after
have been
Halloween.
Some of our best games for some reason this year.
They have been, but you can also catch a team off guard because they were out at a Halloween party. They were out, after school was done, and now you got to wake up early and get mentally ready for a game that's usually played on Friday nights.
And bottom line, when they're playing, and that might be the last play of the game, when they're playing on Friday nights, they're used to sleeping in till 2 o'clock on Saturday sometimes, and they can't do that when you got a 12 o'clock game.
Absolutely. And that will probably do it for us here, as the last play may be just a kneel, which would be all they need to do. But I don't think they need to run it. Referees are coming in there to call it. But just looking at it, as Joe will get his stats and his career education player of the game as they're handing out handshakes now, our game will be done here as they are able to walk away from this one. Ellet gets the win and continues what has been a great run for Coach Yost throughout his last couple of years here especially, but throughout his entire time at Ellet. He's just been one of the stand-up coaches here within the City Series. Coach Sachs also a great coach as well, but tonight he got the better of him, and he was able to get the win 30-12 here from Infocision Stadium, Summa Field. It wasn't quite that way as Garfield started this game off, as I'll do the scoring summary. Right in the first part of the first quarter, they were able to come out and get a touchdown and go up 6-0. Shepard hit Palmer for a 31-yard pass bomb, and they went 58 yards on their first drive to get the first touchdown, not able to convert on the extra point. But Ellet was able to answer, as Burke was able to have a 62-yard drive. Burke had a 1-yard run to make it 7-6 in the first quarter. Then they went into the second quarter as they were able to score again, the Orangemen. Right at the beginning of the second quarter, a 32-yard run from Ivory for a touchdown to make it 14-6. And then back on the other way, going into the third, they went into halftime 14-6, but in the third quarter, probably the one that really changed the tides, Ellet was able to hit a 33-yard field goal to get them up additionally 17-6, and then a 50-yard run by Ivory put things away, made it 24-6, and then the additional one, Haverstick, in the fourth quarter with 8:14 left, got the touchdown to Mackey from 28 yards out. Even though the extra point was blocked, it did make it and keep it at 30-12, but put things out of reach pretty much. We did have, let's see, in the third, Shepard to Palmer, a 30-yard touchdown, made it 24-14, but the extra point failed, and we're able to get things through and going with the win.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Nice job. Individually for the Rams, they were led by Trevon Shepard, 5 of 9 through the air, 108 yards and 2 touchdowns. Nolan Palmer, his big target, 3 receptions, 71 yards and 2 touchdowns. Nice role for him in a losing cause. And Darian Powers finishes his career with 23 carries and 120 yards with a ton of tackles on defense. To the victors, the Ellet Orangemen, as they go to 8-2 on the season. They were led by their scoring guys. Maurice Mackey had a 28-yard TD reception for really their only passing offense. Clavon Birch, yeoman's-like effort, 17 carries, 68 yards, and a touchdown. But tonight's career education player of the game in his last game was the tailback who not only got them going but sealed the victory with his last touchdown. Jacob Ivory, 13 carries, 125 yards, including a 50-yard touchdown highlight reel run and 2 touchdowns. Congratulations to the Ellet Orangemen and Jacob Ivory as they finish the season, regular season, and probably the season at 8-2.
And congratulations to Ivory for our career education player of the game. Career education, where students can choose from 30 different career education programs. Of course, get more information about those programs at apscareers.com. Certainly see the highlights, as Joe had mentioned, right at akronschools.com or on our YouTube page, which will have a link there from akronschools.com as well. We have one more game for you here in the regular season, and it'll be Buchtel versus Kenmore. With a Buchtel win, they will be celebrating another City Series championship. And if they aren't able to pull it off, then those guys in the right near the Z and Zip here at Infocision Stadium, Summa Field, will be able to get a share of that title. But that will be wait to be seen till next week. Want to thank all of those that helped make this possible. Our executive producer, Ryan Dumont. Our cameraman over there pointing right back at me, Peter George. He's the man there. Dave Schick and Joe Pacansky is who we are. We want to thank all of those in the Akron schools that help make things possible. For our administrators, our teachers, our students, and of course you parents at home, we want to thank you for everything you do. And good night from us here at the top of the press box here at Infocision Stadium.